With the rise of superhero media, there of course has to be a counterculture to go along with it. And this counterculture included various shows which asked the question, what if superheroes were bad? Specifically Superman, the literal embodiment of hope and goodness. In the beginning, it was interesting, of course, when there are so many stories about a man with such great powers, one has to wonder, but what if he wasn't such a good person? I mean, you can argue that the people of the DC universe simply got lucky that Clark ended up being a good guy. Really, it could have gone either way, right? So it was interesting to see that concept explored until it wasn't. One thing I noticed about these stories is that they frame themselves as more realistic depictions of the classic hero. But I don't think that's necessarily true. I mean, thinking about most of the people I know, my friends and family, or even just coworkers, I feel like if they suddenly woke up tomorrow with superhuman abilities like durability, flight, super speed, etc., they would want to use those abilities to help people. Sure, they might commit some selfish acts, but they certainly wouldn't want to hurt people with their powers. If they heard with their super hearing that someone was, say, stuck in a burning building, I'm sure they would try to save that person just based off of instinct. But for some reason, so many creators equate realism with pessimism. And the world isn't perfect, but it's not so bleak either. There's only so much evil Superman content a person can retain interest in. After watching 3 seasons of The Boys and just 1 season of Invincible, I think I'm ready to see Superman be a good guy again. I think what these creators need to realize is that evil Superman is not nearly as revolutionary as you think. I mean, the first evil Superman were in Superman stories. Bizarro was introduced in 1958 as an evil duplicate of Superman. Granted, his unintelligence made him kind of a non-threat, but if you look at how Bizarro was adapted in Smallville, he is literally just evil Superman. In fact, Smallville had some version of evil Superman like once a week. Between Red Kryptonite Clark, various body swap episodes, possession, and evil Clarks from alternate realities, we got to see the concept of what if someone with all the powers of Superman was actually evil, explored time and time and time again. In the comics and animated contents as well, there's probably like 1,000 different stories and excuses to have Superman be evil. I couldn't possibly get into them all, and it's only interesting like the first 20 times I see it. These days, it would actually be more surprising and revolutionary to see a fully good Superman who just genuinely wants to help people and is doing his best. I think that's why people are so excited for the James Gunn movie. Didn't everyone get a little bit teary-eyed when Superman saved that little girl just in the trailer? Superman is at his best when he's, at heart, just a sweet guy. That's why my favorite Superman adaptation so far is Smallville, because there were so many moments that would have me go, oh, he's such a sweetie while watching. And it's why the evil Superman episodes were actually fun and interesting, because it was a unique subversion of what we're used to. And the goal of the episode was usually to get Clark back to normal. It was good in small doses, because in my opinion, having Clark be a villain for just 1 episode made for good drama with his relationships. But sometimes these Red K or evil Clark moments lasted a bit too long, and they would get very frustrating very quickly. So why Superman specifically? I mean, we don't see nearly as many evil Batman or evil Spider-Man storylines, though they do exist. You could argue Venom is one, but even he ended up being on the good team. Well, I think it's just because of his popularity and power level. He was created in the 30s basically as a way to explore this fantasy of a man with incredible powers, so they just kind of gave him every power they could think of. I mean, he's literally Superman. And he was close to being the only hero back then, so it wasn't like they were thinking we need to leave some powers for the rest of them or nothing. As Superman has grown as a character, the fact that he is incredibly overpowered became an important part of his character. And honestly, the kind of stories where he has to either learn to control his powers, hold back his powers, or even when he gets to fully embrace his powers, are far more interesting to me than what if Superman, but evil. I wish the superhero counterculture manifested itself now like it did in the early 2000s, with those parody films that made these movies even more ridiculous and unrealistic. I miss those.
Not till we say grace.
But what do you think? Are you sick of evil Superman? Are you a fan of evil Superman stories? Are you excited for James Gunn's Superman? Let me know in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See ya!